pleasure. I've enjoyed a very nice afternoon, didn't we, kind of watching this film today. Both massive Marvel films. And this one's no exception. It's absolutely brilliant to watch, wasn't it?
It is really, really, really good. Brilliant cast in this one as well. Natalie, what can you tell us about the plot without giving, of course, too much? And it's difficult for us now because we've seen it, so it's hard to talk about it.
Very difficult.
Start with the cast, maybe. Really good cast.
Yes, it is an amazing cast, and I think that it's really a classic Taika Waititi film where it manages to combine this really wacky humor with genuine, heartfelt emotion.
How important is it to have that representation on screen?
I think the films that we watch in an ideal world should reflect the world that we live in. So it's important, I think, for all of us to be able to see ourselves on screen. And certainly in the context of a big superhero movie like this, I think it's hugely important and fun.
Now, I hopefully we're not saying too much. Gosh, I get nervous when we talk about Marvel
especially
films.
Marvel films. Yeah, they don't
Hopefully not saying too much when we say there's a little love story part of it. You play Thor's ex-girlfriend originally and then become Mighty Thor. Was it lovely to play a superhero? Because, I mean, I've watched you in so many films, but never as a superhero. And your kids must love it.
It's been given me a lot of street cred with my kids, for sure. They are really just like, can you just keep making Marvel movies, Mom, please, please.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a pretty amazing part of my life to get to play this role, to have kids that are like at the perfect age to appreciate it.
Yeah.
You got pretty ripped up for it as well. I mean, you really went all out on the Thor stuff. It looked great. Kind of like coming back together and working in Australia to make Thor.
It was so fun. We actually worked together here. Yeah. And at the time, I was going to fly to Australia next to make the first Thor that I made. And so it kind of feels full circle. And also just to be able to make this kind of movie with a friend and look over across at her in the gym as we're both like, it's really a joy.
Well, we have got lots of questions from viewers, but here's one. Daniel has written in to ask, who would win in a fight, Valkyrie or the mighty Thor? Good question.
Oh, come on.
We would never fight.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't fight.
We're a team.
Yeah.
And we'd beat anyone together.
Exactly.
Now, what I love about the film, Natalie, is, as you said, there's plenty of humour in it, which really appeals to me. But also, it's not just fighting and special effects. There's a lot of heart in this one, isn't there?
Yes.
What can you say about that, then?
Well, I think it's definitely an exploration of love in all its forms. There's friends love, there's romantic love, there's parent-child love, there's self-love, there's love for what you do. So I think that's really at like the core of the movie, and I think what Taika set out to do with all of us from the beginning.
And did that appeal to you when you read the script initially?
Yes, but also what we read initially was so far from what we ended up with.
Oh, really?
Taika's process is always like complete improvisation and just really radically changing things on the day. So
the initial thing, you wouldn't recognise it compared to the end result?
Not necessarily. Yeah, I think there's a lot that has shifted and changed. But the heart of the movie, there has always been this idea of exploring love. Like, it's always been called THOR Love and Thunder, so there was always going to be love and always going to be thunder. But I think the way that we get there changed a lot over the course of shooting and the edit, which is really interesting to see all of the ways that you can change sort of the emotion depending on where you take it.
Now, Tessa, you spoke earlier about kind of like you both in the gym and stuff like that. Your character, Valkyrie, I mean, is always performing, crazy stunts, whatever she's up to in whatever Marvel film she's in. So I'm guessing there's a lot of gym, which means there's a lot of recovery. Now, apparently Chris Hemsworth has said when it came to the ice baths that you absolutely outdone him by a mile. How?
He never told me that.
No?
Honestly, we were like, she's not British.
Like, honestly. But I
feel spiritually British, so thank you. That's a big compliment.
But who taught you? Yeah,
we did, Apparently it's Adele that helped you perfect it.
Well, yes. So Adele is my favorite person to watch, and I would watch, like, I've seen every single interview of hers, and it's not just because I'm not doing her accent, it's very different than what Valkyrie sounds like, but she also just, don't you feel like you just want to hang out with her and she'd be the coolest hang, and you could go to the pub and have a beer and just like talk about your life, and I don't know her personally, but I love that sort of her spirit, and so she really...
And she makes you feel like you know her personally, don't
Right,
you?
and I kind of wanted Valkyrie to feel that way. And also, I love watching her. She just makes me happy. So I'd like pop her on before going to set, like, Adele.
I love that Adele has, in some parts, inspired Valkyrie. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Oh, great. Thank you, girls. Thor Love and Thunder is released on Thursday.
Hi, Hamish Haggis here. Not a big fan of Marvel movies, but I've enjoyed the Thor series, which have a distinct tongue-in-cheek comedy aspect to them. Love and Thunder is no different, and I look forward to seeing it.